So hello and welcome to this Adobe Animate tutorial. Today we are going to create an interactive HTML5 animated banner, and basically we are going to have a banner like this. I could have some text on that, but I don't have. But basically if I come with my mouse over, I am going to have this kind of animation and it is going to stay, and if I go with my mouse away, it is going to animate away. And every time that I go with my mouse, it will animate in, and when I go with my mouse out, it will animate out. This is just an example. You can use this with any images, any vectors or anything. So yeah. I also created the HTML5 animated banner, the same animation but without the JavaScript, and I am going to put the link in the description for that tutorial, because in that tutorial I showed you how you can get this from the Freepik, because I have this stuff from the Freepik. And in this tutorial, I showed you how you can get this as an Illustrator file with the layers to the Adobe Animate, or how you can get this as images. And I am not going to show you that in this tutorial. In this tutorial, I am just going to provide you these images that I have. I am going to have like 7 PNGs for this stuff, and one background which is going to be JPEG. Okay, so I just wanted to say this, and yeah, I will also provide the link in the description for this Freepik file, and right now we can start. So right now I will go to the Adobe Animate, and I'm going to create new document, Ctrl+N, Command+N, or File New, and I'm going to choose size, which is going to be 400 by 600, like so. This is not the size for the Google Ads. For the Google Ads is like 300 by 600, but I would like to have this little bit wider. Also, one thing that I forget to mention is that in this tutorial I am not going to show you how you can prepare this banner for the Google Ads, because there are additional steps, but I am going to provide a link in the description for the long tutorial where I explain all of the stuff important for the banner for the Google Ads. But yeah, 400 by 600, I want this to be HTML5 canvas. Frame rate is fine as it is, and I am just going to click create. Now I will go to the place where I have my images, and you can use any images. You can use shapes if you want, if you do not want to download them or anything. This is just an example, and I am just going to drag all of this to the Adobe Animate like so. Now I can move the background if I want, or anything, but what I'm going to do is I am going to select all of them like so, and I am going to right click, and I am going to choose distribute to layers. So right now we are going to have like I don't know how many, but maybe 8 layers. Maybe you are going to have the background on the top like so, but what I'm going to do is I am going to get the background layer, and I am going to put it to the bottom, and I would like to position the background to be like so, but it would be maybe better to just click on this, go to the align tool in here, select that you want to have align to the stage, and align this horizontally and align this vertically. If you cannot see things outside of the stage, there is this clip content outside of the stage, but yeah. Now, and if you cannot see align or anything, you can go to the window and you can get it. Now what I can do is I can lock the background, because I do not want to accidentally move it, and I can just distribute these PNGs where I want, so I can just position them. This is really up to you, but yeah, I can do something like this, for example. Now what I will have to do is I will have to convert all of them into one symbol, one movie clip. So I can zoom out and zoom in with Ctrl or Command and mouse wheel. Sometimes this behaves a little bit strange, but that's not the point. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything. It is not going to select the background, because background is locked. And I will go to the modify, and I will go to the convert to symbol, or F8. And I want this to be movie clip, and I am going to call this to be, I don't know, pool stuff or anything. This name is really like, you do not need to even name this, and I am going to click OK. Now I am going to have everything in this one layer, and I am going to have all of these layers which are going to be empty. You can see that they are empty because they don't have any keyframe at the beginning. So what I can do is I can select these empty layers and I can delete them like so. So right now I will just have a background and I will have this image too. I can rename this if I want, but I am not going to. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to click on this movie clip right now. You can see that it is movie clip, and there is this instance name, and by this name we are going to target this with the JavaScript. So I can call this to be pull stuff. I don't know. You can just call this to be stuff. You can call this anything. This name is really optional. Okay, so but you cannot start with like numbers or something like that. You cannot call this 1, 2, 3 pull stuff, but almost anything you can call this. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to double click on this movie clip, and it is going to open me the new timeline. So right now I am in the scene 1 in the pull stuff. So we have like timelines in the Adobe Animate, but yeah, so I'm going to double click, and in here I have everything in the layer 1. So what I'm going to do is one more time I am going to select everything like so. I will right click and I am going to choose distribute to layers, and right now I am going to have all of them on the separated layer. So we are in the inner timeline. So on the outer timeline we have background and this movie clip, and then if I double click I am in the inner timeline, and I have all of this stuff in here like so. Now what I will have to do is I will have to convert all of them one by one to the symbol to be able to animate them separately. So I am just going to go right now with the shortcut F8. You can name this, but I don't even know how to name them, so I am just going to call this to be symbol 1. This is going to be symbol 2, and so on. So I am going to go with all of them very quickly like so, and without this we wouldn't be able to animate them. Okay, so right now I have converted all of them to the symbol. And now let's say that I will go to frame 35 like so, and I'm going to create new keyframes. So I'm going to click on the bottom frame of the bottom layer with the shift on the top one, and I will right click and I'm going to choose insert keyframe, or you can go with shortcut which is F6 and yeah. And now what I'm going to do is I will go to the initial keyframes, and on the initial keyframes I am just going to put them away like so. So we are just going to have an animation that they are going to come in like so, maybe like so, and this one maybe like so. One more time, this clip content outside of the stage is going to allow you to see the stuff outside of the stage. Okay, now we will have to create a classic twin. So I'm going to select this like so, or you can select it like so. It really doesn't matter, but you need to select all of the layers, right click, and I'm going to choose create classic twin, and we are just going to have this animation. Now if I go back to the scene 1, in the scene 1 we are not going to be able to see our animation. So in the scene 1 we are just going to have one keyframe for the background and one keyframe for this, like I can rename this to be like stuff, very descriptional, but yeah. And if I double click we are going to have this this timeline. So right now without any code and without anything, if I go with Ctrl Enter, it is basically going to play the inner timeline like so, and it is going to be looping forever. Okay, now there are a couple of things that we would like to take care of. First of all, but this is just something like a little bit technical, it's possible that your vectors are not going to look very good. Also mine didn't look very good. It's like a little bit like I don't know. So I am not going to explain all of the publish settings, because I explained this in the tutorial for the Google Ads, which I said that I'm going to provide a link in the description. But I can go to the file and I can go to the publish settings, and I have in here option export image assets, and I have an option to go as a texture, and I have an option to go as a sprite sheet. If I go with the texture, it is going to later on export me all of this as a PNG, and then in the image settings I have an option if I want to have the quality 8 bits, or I would like to have 32, and I am going to change this to be 32, and I am going to click OK. So right now if I go with Ctrl Enter, you can maybe see, maybe you cannot see, but the quality is at least the background is a little bit better. I don't know if you can see this, maybe not, but yeah. So yeah, you can keep this as a 8. It is going to be a lower quality file size, but a lower file size, but yeah. Okay, now let's continue, and we will come to the publish settings later on, but yeah. Now what I can do is I can go inside of this, and I will go to the beginning, and I'm going to create new layer, and I'm going to call this layer to be code, and I will go to the first frame. I will right click, I'm going to choose actions or F9. It is going to open this text editor. You can adjust this as you want, but yeah, and you can zoom in and zoom out with Control or Command and mouse wheel. But I am just going to type very simple code, which is going to be this, which refers like this timeline, this dot stop, and the parenthesis like so. The semicolon is optional in the JavaScript. I prefer to use this, but you do not need to, but I am going to put it. So yeah, I'm just going to have this like this timeline dot stop, it like saying like stop the timeline. Okay, and right now I am going to have this little A in here, and basically it is going to stop me the timeline. So right now if I go with Control Enter, nothing is going to happen because we have stopped the timeline immediately. I could, but I do not want to position this little A. I can click on this and I can drag it to the end like so, and right now this means that it is going to like play the timeline like so once, and then it is going to stop, so it is not going to be looping. So yes, something like this, but I would like to position this little A at the beginning. And if you want to go back to the code, you can just right click, choose actions, or you can go with F9 or anything. Okay, so once I have this stop, I will have to create one more layer. So right now I will go one layer below the code, and I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to call this to be label. And I'm going to go on the first frame, and I'm going to create a label. By this name we are going to play this animation with the JavaScript. I can call this to be just play, but I prefer to call this like I don't want to call this just play, because there can be like some JavaScript internal in the Adobe Animate which already has play, or I don't know. So I can call this to be play now, play animation, play pool, play anything. The play is going to also work, but yeah, I am going to go like play now, for example. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I will have to remember the name. So I have play and then capital N, play now, and I have the stop at the beginning. So right now still if I go with Control Enter, Command Enter, this is going to stop because of the code this dot stop. But I will go, as I said, to the main timeline. And I am going to unlock the background for the moment, because I would like to click on the background and I would like to convert the background to the symbol. So I will go one more time with F8. I can call this to be BG as a background, or I can keep this as a symbol 8. But what I'm going to do is I will put an instance name. This name has nothing to do with the movie clip name, and I'm going to call this to be BG as a background. Okay, so right now I am going to have the background which have like the instance name BG, and I have this movie clip which has like the name pool stuff. I'm just going to call this to be stuff. You can call it as you want. Okay, now I am going to create new layer, and I'm going to call this to be code. So we have one layer which is code, which is like in the inner timeline, and we are going to have one layer which is going to be code, which is going to be in the like main timeline. I will right click and I'm going to choose actions, and I'm going to type this, which refers like to this timeline. That's funny, because when we are in the inner timeline, this is referring to that timeline, and when we are in the outer, this refers to this timeline. But yeah, that's not really important right now, so I will just type this. I will type this BG, that's the name that we have created as a background. I am going to go with on. There is also option to go add the event listener. They are going to do the same thing. It's like the on is jQuery, I guess. But yeah, this BG on, we are going to go with quotation marks, and we are going to put this on click. Later on we are going to change this to my mouse over, but there is additional steps. So this BG on click, and the function that we are going to call, so we are going to call the animation play animation, or you can call this anything. Okay, this is just the function. We are going to call this function, but we will have to create the function. So yeah, also the same thing, semicolons are optionals, and this space in here really doesn't matter. You can have as much space as you want. But yeah, now I'm going to create the function. So function play animation. I am going to copy this because I do not want to misspell this, and this text editor in Adobe Animate is not really helpful to like complete the text. So yeah, so function play animation, and in here I am going to type this dot stuff. The stuff is the name that we have created. Like before I had this like pull stuff, right now I have this stuff. You can call this anything. So this stuff Goto and play like so, and we need to have this like so. So Goto, the A is going to be capital, the P is going to be capital, and then the label that we have created. So we have created label which is going to be plain now. If you have created different names, you are going to put in here different names. You can create the function which has different name. You can call the stuff differently. You can call the background differently, but everything else is going to stay like this. Now there is going to be one little issue with this, and that's when we are in the functions, we are not allowed to write the keyword this like so. We will have to in this event listener. So we have this bg on click. So when we click on the background, we are going to play the call the function play animation. But in here I have to type dot, and I have to type bind, and I have to type bind this. And this basically is just going to allow me to write the keyword this inside of the function. Okay, so basically something like this. I will go with Control Enter, Command Enter, and yeah, if I'm going to click on the background, we are going to play the animation. Okay, now I can go with F12, or you can right click and you can choose inspect on the Google Chrome, and in here you are going to have errors in the red if you are going to have some kind of error. Now I will go in here and yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this, and one thing that I would like to do is I would like to change the easing, because right now the animation is linear and I don't really like this. So I am just going to select all of the keyframes. I will go to the classic ease, I will go to the easy out, and this basically means that the animation is going to start quick and then it is going to slow down. You will see this, and I am going to choose one of these options. They are just the same thing, but the stronger version. So I will go maybe with this quad. I will double click, and right now if I go with Control Enter and I am going to click, it is going to play like so, and yeah. Now there is a little issue, and that's if I'm going to click, it is going to play the animation, then it is going to disappear. If I click one more time, nothing is going to happen. If I click one more time, it is going to play the animation. If I click one more time, nothing is going to happen. And like so it is going to be. So yeah, what can we do to change this? What can we do is I will double click. I do not need to double click, but yeah, if I am in the scene 1, I am going to double click on my stuff, and it is going to, like at the beginning, it is going to have this little A, so it is going to stop. And when I'm going to click on the background, we are going to play the animation, and it is going to play like so, and then it is going to go back to the initial keyframe, and it is going to stop in here. And when I click one more time, for some reason it's not going to be working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move this label from first frame to the second frame like so. So right now it is going to be on a different place where is my little A like so. And yeah, I am like not really able to explain you why animate behaves like so, but right now if I go with Control Enter, and if I'm going to click, it is going to play. If I'm going to click one more time, it is going to play, and if I click one more time, it is going to play, and so on. If you would like this to stay, because right now I will click and then it is going to disappear. If we would like this to stay on the place, what I can do is I can go to the end, and I am going to create new keyframe on the end of the code layer, and I am going to go in here. I will click F6, and I will just right click. I will go with actions, and I'm going to one more time type this dot stop like so, parenthesis, and yeah, like so. So right now what is going to happen is I am going to click, and this is going to play, and it is going to stay. And if I click one more time, it is going to go like so, and yeah. I do not want to have this like so for now, so I am going to get rid of this, so I can just right click and I can choose a clear keyframe like so, and it is going to go away. So yeah, now what I'm going to do is I am going to continue my animation. So I will go somewhere here, for example, on the timeline, and I'm going to create new keyframes. So F6, and in between, in here, I do not want to have any animation. And then I will create one more keyframe. So I will go maybe somewhere here, F6. And on these keyframes, I am just going to animate them away. So I will just position them somewhere away of the canvas, like so, and like so. And yeah, you can of course also rotate these things. I showed that in the tutorial with just animation. In this tutorial, I am just not going to rotate this. And I am just going to one more time go like so, create classic twin, and I am also going to go with some easing. These easings are optional, but I prefer to have them. So I'm going to select all of the keyframes, and I will go to the classic ease. Right now I do not want to go with easy out, because this is just going to start quickly and then it is going to slow down. But when I am going to animate away, I would like to go with easy in. This means that it is going to be like starting slowly and then it is going to accelerate and go away. And I will go maybe with this cubic. No, I will go with this quad, and I will double click, and yeah. And yeah, and I'm just going to extend the timeline also for the code and for the label. So I'm just going to select them, and I'm going to click F5 like so. So right now, basically what is going to happen is that when I'm going to click, it is going to play this like so, it is going to stay, and it is going to go away by itself. So I'm going to have this like so. I will just click, and it will go in here, it will stay, and then it is going to go away. Okay, like so, and every time that I'm going to click, it is going to be like so. Little issue in here is that if I'm going to click and then I click one more time, every time that I'm going to click, it is going to try to start the animation from the beginning, like so. But yet that's not really an issue for now. So yeah, now we are going to change this to mouse over, and then we are going to change this that it is going to animate in when the mouse come in, and then it is going to animate out when the mouse go out. So yeah, right now I will go to the main timeline, and I will go to this code with F9, and I am going to change this from click to be mouse over, like so. And I am going to go with Control Enter, Command Enter, and if I go with my mouse over, nothing is going to happen. If I go with F12, I am not going to have any error, but nothing is going to happen anyway. And the reason is that when we want to have mouse over, we need to write additional line of code, and that's very simply like stage.enable mouse over, like so, and the parentheses, and as I said, semicolons are optional. So we have the enable, we have M, which has to be capital, and we have O, which has to be capital. When we have the even listener mouse over, there is no like capital O. There is, I don't know really why this is like so. So mouse over is even, no capital O, and this line stage enable mouse over, this has to be capital, this has to be capital. I don't know why, but it's like so. And right now when I am going to have that line of code, I can go with F12 to see if I don't have any error. But if I go with my mouse over, it is going to be like so, and yeah. And with the mouse over, it's like if I go and I go away and I go one more time, every time it's going to try to play the animation again. But if I go with my mouse over, like so, and I will be just moving with my mouse, it is not going to try to play one more time. You need to go away and then come back again. Yeah. And now what we are going to do is we are going to change this, that this is not going to play the whole animation, but the go away animation is going to be when we go with the mouse away, like so. So yeah, I will go to the like main timeline, to the code, like so, and I am just going to duplicate this even listener. So I will go with Control D, or you can just go Control C, Control V, you know. And I am going to have this BG on, but not on the mouse over. But right now we would like to have this to be on mouse out. That's just another event. So mouse out. And we are going to, instead of play animation, we can call the function which is going to be go away, finish animation, anything. I am just going to call this to be finish animation. And now I am going to create the function, so I'm going to type function, and I'm going to copy this name because I don't want to misspell this, because otherwise it's not going to be working. So function, finish animation, parentheses, curly parentheses, and yeah, or curly braces, I don't know. For now I'm going to keep this empty, and I will go I will double click to my stuff, and what I'm going to do is I will go to this frame 35 where the animation is going to stop, and I'm going to create a new keyframe F6 on the code layer. So right now in the inner timeline, F6, and I am going to right click, I am going to go to actions, and one more time I'm going to go with this dot stop. This is what we had before when we wanted the animation to stop in there. So right now basically if I go with Control Enter, and I am going to and I'm going to go with my mouse over, it is just going to stop in there like so, and yeah. So now what I'm going to do is on the label layer, I am going to go in here like so, and I'm going to create new keyframe F6, and I am going to create new label. So I am just going to call this to be go away like so. Okay, you can call this anything, you can call this play away, you know. So yeah, and right now I am going to have the label in here, which is going to be go away. And now I can go to the main timeline, I can go to the code, and I can just borrow this line. So I am just going to copy this and paste this, and I am going to have this stuff, Gotoandplay, and I am going to have go away like so, and I will go with Control Enter. I can go with F12 to see if I don't have any error, and if I come with my mouse over, it is going to play, it is going to stay forever, until I will go with my mouse away, and then it is going to animate away. And if I come with my mouse in, it is going to go in, and like so. So basically I will go one more time in there. So at the beginning we are going to stop this. When I go with my mouse over, we are going to play the play now, and we are going to play it until in here like so. These additional things in here, they are not necessary. I have them only because at the beginning I was creating the animation that it is going to just go in here, stay, and go away. So later on, if I want, I can get rid of all of this stuff, but that's not the issue if it's in here. But yeah, when we go in with the mouse, we are going to play now, it is going to stop in here, and then when we go out, we are just going to call the label which is going to go away, which starts in here, and it is going to play this part like so. If we wanted, we have nothing in here, but if we had something in here, we could have in here one more time this dot stop. But yeah, that's not really important. So yeah. So if I want, I can select this like so. I can right click and I could choose remove frames. You do not need to, and I'm actually going to go back because I would like to do the same thing for all of the layers, also the code and the label. So I can right click and I can choose remove frames. So it doesn't matter whether there is going to be some empty keyframes, empty frames, or nothing. Basically, when I go with my mouse out, it is going to play from this place, go away. So yeah, one more time, Control Enter, I will go in. It is going to play, I will go away, it will go away, I will go in, it will go in, I will go away, it will go away. So yeah, basically this is it, this is all. And the last thing that I'm going to show you is how you can export this, because there is a little issue when you export this. There's not a real issue, but it can seem like an issue, so I would like to explain that. Also, if you want, I already said this, know more about these publish settings and how you can prepare this for the Google Ads. I will put, as I said, a link in the description for the tutorial where I am showing that. But yeah, so right now, first of all, I am going to save this, Control S, and I will go to the place where I want to save this. So I will go in here and I'm going to create a new folder which I'm going to call to be animate, and I am going to go inside and I am going to call this to be pool or interactive pool or anything, and I'm going to click save. So right now if I go to that place where I have my animate file, I am just going to have the animate file, some recover animate file. But as soon as I go with Control Enter or Command Enter to see this in the browser, it is going to automatically publish me some JavaScript, some HTML, and some images. I am going to delete this, and I am going to delete this. I can open the images, but I am going to delete this also like so. So now I will go to the file, and I will go to the publish settings. And I showed you at the beginning that we have this texture and we have this sprite sheet. We have also image assets, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So if I'm going to choose texture and I will go to the image settings, it is going to convert all of this to the PNG. Okay, so I can choose the quality 8 or 32, but as I showed you, as I provide you, I have these images and I have these PNGs and I have background which is the JPEG. But when I'm going to choose the texture, it is going to, I can go with OK, and I can go file and publish. It is going to publish me this in the animate, where is my animate files. But right now if I go to the images, I am going to have one big PNG, and it is going to contain this stuff, but it is also going to contain this background. So yeah, I am one more time going to delete this, and I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to delete this. So one thing is that I do not want to have this on the same place where is my animate file, but I would like to create a separate folder. So I will go to the file, publish settings, and I will go to this little icon, select publish destination, and I am going to go to the place where I have my animate file. You can go anywhere in your PC, but I prefer to go where I have my animate file. And in here I am just going to create new folder which I am going to call index, for example. You can call this anything, but for the clients we used to send like a folder called index, and this I can call this pool.js, or I am going to just call this index.js. You can type index.js, or you can just type index, and it is automatically going to call this index.js. And I'm going to click save, OK, and I could go like file and publish. But right now I am going to have this still, like I'm going to have this in the index folder, and I'm going to still have JavaScript, HTML, and images, and the images are still going to be like one PNG. I can delete this like so, and if I go to the file and I go to the publish settings and I go to the sprite sheet and I go to the image settings, right now when I have this as a sprite sheet, I have an option to have this as a PNG, as a JPEGs, or both. I want to have both, and right now I have the settings for the PNG, which I can set to 32, and I have settings for the quality of JPEG. I can keep this 80 or anything. So yeah, if you are going to go with the sprite sheet, you will be able to have the PNGs and the JPEG separated. So right now I can go like file and publish. And right now I am going to have one image which is going to be like the JPEG, and one which are going to be PNGs. Now the issue is that if I am going to open this like so from this index file, and I am going to go with F12, I am going to have in here error, and it is not going to be working. And every time when I go with my mouse over, I am going to have an error. This error is going to happen every time that you are going to have images and not the vectors in Adobe Animate, and you are going to work with the JavaScript. This is like not the real error, okay, because there is like, this is most likely due to security restriction on the reading canvas, okay, with the local or cross-domain images. So this error is for some, I don't know, security restrictions, but it is only in your own browser. As soon as you would put this on the real website, or you would send this to the client and he is going to put this on the real website, it's going to be working just the way as it is going to be working when you are in the Adobe Animate, like so. Or when you are going to put this to the local host, I'm not going to explain this, but maybe some of you know there is like this XAMPP or MAMP, which is like which can very simply create you like this local host, like local server. And if you open this with this way, it is going to be working. So I just want you to be aware, like every time that you are going to have this error, security restriction on the reading canvas, you have nothing wrong. That's just some security restriction in your own browser, in your own PC. On the real website, it's going to be working fine. Or if you open this on some like local server with this XAMPP or MAMP, it is going to be working fine. So yeah, I can provide you this this animate file in the description. I am going to provide you the PNGs. I am going to put a link in the description for the tutorial about Google Ads, and also the tutorial about the animation of this, where you can see the how I get this from the Freepik. Probably I will put to the description also the Freepik file, many things, but but yeah. If anyone have been here until the end, until this point, you can write me that in the comments. That would mean a lot to me. If you have any questions, suggestions, or anything, you can write me that in the comments. Maybe I will answer, maybe no, who knows. But yeah, so thank you very much. Have a nice day. I hope that you will be able to use this in your projects. And yeah, thank you and goodbye.